Welcome to In My Bag with Backpack Jeff, where we connect with ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Today, I got a special guest here with me, man. My brother. This dude calls me his mentor, and I'm so. It's a refreshing thing to hear, man. I got my brother here with me, Lou Payne. What's going on, bro? How you doing,
What's
man?
up? How you doing?
Doing good.
Doing great, man.
How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good. Feeling good. Can't complain.
Feeling good, man.
Yes,
We
sir.
we was just sitting here, man. We was having a super dope conversation, and it was one of them conversations where I was like, "Yo, we were just saying like, man, we got to get this recorded." And we were doing a lot of talking about mental health, and one of the things that men don't do enough is they don't have genuine conversations. Like I could remember being in college, man, and one of the things that I took for granted a lot was how much I loved having a conversation with my boy Levance. You remember Levance?
Yep.
Hoop with
Yeah.
us.
Yes, sir.
So one of the things that we used to do every Thursday after football practice, we would have like these difficult conversations, and we would sit in the car and we would like smoke a Black and Mild or something like that, and we would just have like a heart to heart conversation. And that's what I wanted to do today, man, was because I think that, you and I we're in a pretty successful place in our lives. But one of the things that we have to do, man, is we have to constantly do mental check-ins with ourselves. And so what I would get out of those conversations, I would get something out of those conversations that I didn't even know that I needed. Where like me and Levance, we would be able to relate on like a relationship of, him and I, we both had kids. So when I was going through something with my daughter's mom, he would understand a lot of the things that I was going through. And so right now, I think it's an important opportunity for you and I to just have a conversation, man, just about life, a heart to heart and open conversation about life, man, and just about a couple of things. First off, how's your new year going?
New Year's going great. Just recently got a new job, so that's good. Got a lot of goals and plan. For me, just to keep pushing, and try to be as successful as I can. So
To definitely be successful, man. That's always the goal, is to be successful. But what I want to know is we were talking a little bit about mental health and about an emotional disconnect. And we were kind of confiding in each other, and that was one of the things where I said, yo, I'm feeling the same way. Like if there's like a wire, you know what I'm saying, that connects
right.
my there's a gap between my emotional wire, man. Tell us, what does that feel like? What does it feel like for you to kind of be emotionally detached a little bit?
I would say it's a scary feeling, to know that I used to have this emotional part of myself, that's no longer there. But then also knowing that people around me can sense that.
Right.
And that's one of the hardest things for myself, to know that, I'm trying to get back to who I used to be with that emotional part of my body, or myself, but it's hard. So
Yeah. So when do you think that transition happened? Like, was there a particular event or series of events that happened in your life that you felt like it kind of stopped you from being emotional?
yeah, so in 2014 at college, I went to Penn State New Kensington and played basketball there. I ended up getting a call that my grandfather had passed, when I was five and a half hours away from school, from home, sorry. And that was the starting point of where everything turned left for me. After that, it was spring break, so I went home and I found out that not only was my grandmother dying, but my aunt, all on my dad's side, had colon cancer. So my grandfather just passed, and I'm still trying to figure out why it happened, and questioning God and questioning my faith in God and stuff like that. And then to come home, and my aunt has colon cancer, and she can't even lift, her arms or anything. And you can see it in her eyes that she's slowly fading away. And then the day after she passed, my grandfather died in April 11th. Then my aunt died May 28th, and then my grandmother died the day right after, May 29th. So to
Wow.
have those three deaths within a month kind of turned me all the way off as far as feeling emotional wise. So
And so so we were talking a little bit about this earlier, man, in terms of like, self-care. And I want to talk to you a little bit about that, because now I can't say that I know what that feeling feels like, in terms of what you went through. But I can definitely say, you said you got into writing, like you said you wrote them a letter.
Yeah, so I ended up writing them a letter after they passed, just expressing myself and saying all the good times we had. And then I actually started getting in poetry. And then knowing you and knowing that you do poetry, that kind of pushed me more to be able to speak on the one night that I spoke at the poetry event. So
Yeah, at Bus Boys and Poets in Hyattsville. It's interesting, man. I one of my second favorite movie all time is a movie called Collateral Beauty. It's a movie with Will Smith, and it's a movie about him, and he lost his daughter, his 6-year-old daughter, to cancer, GBT, glioblastoma multiforme, GBM. Is what it was, and he went through a really dark depression as well. Broke up from a split from his wife and stuff like that, got divorced. And what he did was he wrote 3 letters. He wrote it to love, death, and time. And I thought that was so profound. And if you haven't seen the movie, it's definitely a movie that you definitely want to check out, man. He wrote these 3 letters to these 3 abstracts, and it was a way of healing. And I think, man, there's such power in writing that a lot of people don't understand, what that emotional release feels like. And then also when you can combine that with poetry, you know what I'm saying? There's another level of like emotional release that you get from poetry. So have you, other than the writing, is there anything that else that you have done to allow yourself to kind of release and to heal from that? You know what I'm saying? Because we as men, we try not to cry, you know what I'm saying, right, as much. But is there like did you have a point where you cried, where you had to cry it out?
I would say I had a point that I did cry, but it was very short. It was filled with more anger, cries than anything, and questioning, why am I still here? Thinking about suicide, because now my family's all broken apart because of the people that held it together passed.
Right.
So I did have a period where I cried, but I kind of drowned that with, drinking and, like I said, thinking about suicide. So not really a strong period where I just let out a bunch of tears, because as men too, we try to act like we strong 24/7. So
yeah, Rick Ross got a song. Well, no, it's a song called "Never Surrender," and in the song it says, when you front and try to hold it in, it hurts worse. You know what I'm saying? And we get to a point where we try to be tough, we try to be macho, we try to front and we try to hold it in, but it literally only makes the feeling worse. And I understand losing the matriarch and the patriarch of the family, because not recently, but when my uncle passed away, you know what I'm saying, and I think it was like 2016 or something like that, he was the patriarch of the family, and he kind of kept everything together. You know what I'm saying? When we would have family reunions, like we would all go to his house, and he was the one that kind of kept everything together. And I heard you say your family is kind of divided right now. What do you see from your family, or what don't you see from your family now that you would like to see again?
I would say everybody just being happy. Like, you can walk in a room and feel that there's something missing, and that is the vibe in the room is everyone is sad, but we aren't going to talk about it, and we're going to get over it by act like it's not there.
And it. Sadly, man, that's the thing that black families do. You know what I'm saying? We don't talk about our problems. You know what I mean? We ain't let nobody in the family business, and we try to act like those things don't exist, because we've always had to be strong. We've always had to be like tough. Like, nah, you can't, like life is hard. So what? That's just a part of it. Deal with it. You know what I mean? And that's where a lot of that emotional disconnect comes from. It comes from us not actually releasing, and us not actually being in a position to where we can actually say how we feel. You know what I mean? Like I know I didn't feel comfortable, and you know what? I still don't feel as comfortable going to my mom or going to my dad about certain things because I'm like, I don't know if they're going to understand it. You know, they were
Right.
raised in a different generation than I was raised in, so I don't know if they would understand it. Have you all thought about doing doing like a family counseling thing, man? Like, or like maybe not even counseling, but just like a mediation thing where you all kind of put those things on the table and just the hardest thing to do is to just have those tough conversations.
Right.
Have you gotten to a point where you feel like you want to have those tough conversations?
I do. I'm at the point now that's like I do want to hear how it has affected my dad, my uncles. But the same token is like it's hard to make them words come out. Like, how do you feel?
Yeah.
It's more so that I see them pushing through every day, so I push through every day.
Right.
We never had like heart to hearts after everyone had passed. It's more so like, we all know what happened and we all gonna continue to push forward type
Right.
of thing.
So if you could say if you could say or ask your dad anything, what would you say or what would you ask your dad? Like how would you start the conversation with your dad?
I would start it by saying, how do you feel? How's your mental? I know he is, going through therapy now because 11/11/2020, he actually lost his brother, which was, again, on, now he lost his dad, his mom, his sister, and he lost his baby brother, which was also my right-hand man. So we all, myself and my uncle joined the fraternity, Gamma Epsilon Theta, that my dad and my oldest uncle were already a part of. And we joined that for one, because we wanted to be more of a family. We seen them getting together, having, brotherly talks, laughing. And that's something that I always wish I could have had. And I wanted to have that, but I feel like as soon as my uncle had passed, it kind of, it made us rethink everything that happened in 2014. So.
Right. So it just kind of like a reminder of the past traumas that you have that you've been through. And so you said you would ask your dad, how he's feeling. What would you tell your dad that you are feeling in this moment? Because, it's like you said, you're looking at your dad and you're seeing him push through it and you're kind of adopting that same emotion. It's like, I think it's called emotional contagion, where you eventually adopt the same emotion as the person you're having a conversation with. So what would you say to your dad, in terms of how you feel, in terms of how it made you feel? Because the easiest way to get someone else to be vulnerable is for you to go in and be vulnerable first. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you want him to express himself, you know what I mean? Maybe he needs you to express yourself. So what do you think that you would say?
I feel like I would say that I lost a big piece of like my whole life, but I'm gonna be all right. I see that he's pushing through, which makes me stronger as his son to push through. I will also say that it's okay if he have days that he's going through it, that he can talk to me,
Right.
just so I know that he's okay, because he works in the health care field, so it's a lot that go on that he's stressing about, just not personally but through job wise also. So just so he'll know that I got his back, and anything he need, I got him. So.
Yeah, and you know what? I think that's important, man. Because I feel the same way with my dad. Like, my dad is the oldest male on my dad's side of the family. He's only 57 years old. And it's tough to hold that that position in a family. You know what I mean? Where you're like the glue that kind of holds everything together. And what I think, man, I think that we get to a point where we want to push through, we want to fight through and stuff like that, but we also have to make sure that we are making time to actually converse and have those tough conversations. Like a friend of mine, his name is Amay, and I think that this may be something that you all would benefit from. Him and his family, they have this thing called Thoughtful Thursdays. So every Thursday they would get together and no technology, no nothing, but it's just about doing mental check-ins. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And to do that, and just like, hey, how you doing? Like, we'll get to some of the stuff in the bag here in a second, but it's really just conversations about how are you doing? You know what I mean? Is there something that you're dealing with at work? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Talking to your dad about, relationships, talking to your mom about certain relationships, what's going on in your life, and just getting involved. Do you think you would benefit from doing something like that, like mental check-ins?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Yes and no. So I'm at a
All right.
point now where I am not over everything that happened,
Okay.
but I'm kind of putting it on the back burner, like in the back of my mind, which it burned me so bad that it kind of cut off the emotional side.
Right.
So for me to talk about how I feel, me personally, I'll say I'm fine. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if that's the selfish part or what, but it's me saying, all right, I'm good because I'm trying to forget about it, type of thing.
Yeah.
Which isn't always good either.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely not, and that's what I was going to ask you. It is that sounds like that emotional disconnect where it's like there's something here that needs to be addressed. You know what I'm saying? But it just hasn't gotten an opportunity to be addressed. Have you ever heard of the Rage Room?
No, I haven't.
No, so it's a place they have one. They got one out in Baltimore, and I think this is definitely something that I'm going to engage in and practice in, because I think that I think it's important to kind of let out that emotion. You know what I'm saying? And the Rage Room is basically you get a sledgehammer or you get an axe or something like that, and you go into a room and you just start breaking stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's
crazy.
literally a release of like anger, of frustration, and man, I mean, therapists use it and stuff like that. You'd be surprised, man, how much you'll get out and how much you'll feel better after you release this tension that's within you. You know what I'm saying? Have you gotten to a point in your life? So you're doing pretty well in your life right now. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, you just got a new job. You're a basketball coach. You know what I mean? Things are going pretty well for you. With things going well for you, there's also a lot of pressure that we feel in our circles, in our friendships and stuff like that. Talk to us a little bit about what are some of the pressures, if any pressures, that you feel within friendships.
Friendship wise, I have a lot of different friends with a lot of different personalities.
Right.
Just to say the least. But as a whole, I feel like that we all don't know our directions for life or what's our next step, as far as job wise or our purpose in life. Is the biggest thing. We're all older now, so when we were younger, we kind of all was real close. Now we all experiencing life in different ways, which kind of pushes us different ways.
Right.
But my circle knows that I always have their back. No matter what. And for me personally, I feel like I have to be the strong one. Not necessarily saying if they going through something, whatever, but just me personally, because I inherited, that always have an open heart for everybody,
Right.
no matter what. Me and my friends could be arguing, but at the end of the day, they know that I'm gonna have their back, or anything you need, I'll drop whatever to come, look out for you. That's just me as a person. But I feel like we're all growing, so there might be bumps in the road, but at the end of the day, we grew up together. We kind of know each other's struggles. Some people might be here as far as goal wise, and we sometimes we do try to have talks as far as what's your goals, where are you trying to go in life, which not everyone knows what they want to do. So it's kind of if I'm going this direction with say poetry or want to do something IT, and I have a friend that's that's still in their ways or where they're trying to go, it's hard to uplift everybody in your circle when you trying to uplift yourself.
Yeah. You know what, man? It really is tough. And, uh, who was that? Biggie. The more money we come across, the more problems we
Yeah.
see. You know what I mean? It's definitely there's a certain level of pressure that you experience when you're the quote unquote successful one. And even and the thing is, man, you're so humble that I know you don't even feel like I'm the successful one. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like you're the type of person just like myself where it's like, okay, I'm doing some things in my life, but I also know that I have so much further to go.
Right.
You know what I mean? And there's a certain level of pressure there, because some people will see you and look at, oh, he's got it together. You know what I'm saying? He's got a he's got this and he's got this, and the comparison, and they say that comparison is the thief of joy. You know what I'm saying? When you're always comparing yourself to someone else,
Right.
you don't really get to see the things that you have in your life or the things that you have in front of you. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Mhm.
Like I used to, there was this thing that I used to say, you can't see the blessing that's in front of you if you're constantly looking to the side. You know what I mean? Right. Life could be right in front of you, ready to hand you a blessing, but because you're looking over here and envying what this person have, life is like, yo, I got something for you. I got something for you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But because you're not looking at, or you're not paying attention to where you should be paying attention to, you oftentimes miss that blessing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So talk to us a little bit about, you're a basketball coach. You played, you did some semi-pro stuff as well. Talk to us a little bit about your experience, man, as a player, being a college athlete. You were not just a college athlete; you were an academic scholar, college athlete. That's one of the things that I know about you, man. Tell us, what was that like, and what kind of pressure did you feel? Any pressures on yourself?
I would say I always felt pressure. Being away from home was the biggest pressure, to know that I'm out here for a reason, to know that I'm here to get good grades. Yes, party. Yes, went out and hung out with friends and stuff. But to know that at the end of the day that I got myself out here. You know, whereas I had teammates who live right around the corner who stayed with their parents. I had one of my teammates actually live with me. He's from Maryland. He's from out this way, and I got him to come out to Penn State New Kent to hoop with me too. And it was just we knew that this degree is all we have out here, and after this is we got to make something of ourselves.
Right.
So I went to Waynesburg, ended up trying out for the team, got cut, and then. Well, the first year I played, they called it JV because there was a lot of kids on the team.
Right.
Second year, I ended up getting cut, and then I ended up getting a position, an opportunity to play up at Penn State New Kensington. And I was actually Coach Art's first recruit. And we went through some rough times as far as one semester we'll have 12 guys, next semester we'll have 6. And one of the 6 was the manager, because guys didn't take it serious to know I'm here to get my grades and to play basketball. But basketball is always second. Sports is always second. Myself, I live with my teammates Shane, Matt, and Timmy. Normally, there's been a couple times the coach will hit me up and say, hey, can you show this incoming freshman around? So there was time I went to the airport, picked up a recruit from Puerto Rico. He didn't have nowhere to stay. He stayed with us until he figured out, his living situation. And that happened actually multiple times. There was times that, I had to get the team together because I was a captain, early in the morning, making sure everyone was there in practice on time. So I always felt like there was pressure to do good, but I always loved having that pressure because I knew that I was capable of doing it. Then from there, I was able to keep my grades up. I played all 3 years at Penn State New Kent and had opportunity to go and play for Du Bois. It was Du Bois, Pennsylvania, but it was Du Bois Dream.
Okay.
So that was a good opportunity. Just talking to kids, I'm 5'6", but I say 5'7" with shoes. But always being around the younger kids, looking up to me, and I was in their shoes, looking up to other people. They say, like I remind them of Isaiah Thomas. I'm so short, but I don't care who I'm going up against. So to me, that was humbling to know that there was kids that younger than me that looked up to me when I felt like that I didn't have it all together.
Right.
And then I ended up moving back here in 2018 and was gifted a job, head coach JV at Huntington High School, where I'm at now. And we actually went 500 my first year there. And then I had an incoming freshman class that came in. The second year we went 21-1. So just being around, guys that look like me, but also men to teach them about life. And I know I had you come in a couple times, just to talk to the kids. Also had one of my other dream teammates come in and just talk to kids about life, because not too often in high school kids are talked about what goes on after school, after high school, the college. And there's a lot of kids that I know personally that say, I got to go D1. I got to go to this school play. And you need education first. Don't get so caught up in the divisions. Get caught up in whatever coach is going to do what's best for you. And always got to remember, you got to put yourself first in college. Because there's kids that come in right behind you that's better than you, and they're going to take your spot no matter what.
Yeah.
So
after your 4 years, man, that's it. Like, this is you're a rental property. You're a rental player. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They're renting you for 4 years, and if they get you that long, you know what I mean? Sports is so important, man, and we learn so many life lessons from sports itself. What do you think is something that sports taught you that you use every day in life right now?
I would say to always stay ready.
Okay.
Because I had, playing at Penn State New Ken, seemed like I had the worst luck, but I had a torn rotator cuff and labrum. And also I had to get a bunionectomy done on my foot. But I wanted to play. It was my senior year, and I got a call actually from the financial aid that I wasn't going to be able to finish school because our financial aid didn't go through. So I was stressing about that. And then I started a GoFundMe, which there was a lady on Facebook that reached out to me and said, hey, like, I seen your story. I know what you have went through, and I want to help you. So she actually helped me raise money. We had a home game, and we're warming up. The athletic director walks on the court and says, I'm not allowed to have a GoFundMe page that has Penn State involved in it. So if I don't take it down, I can't play. That right before tip-off. Right before tip-off, we warming up. So it was always something, but at the end of the day, like, I'm glad that I had sports to humble me. And then also even dealing with, so many family members passing. I said I had another cousin in 2016. I had a call from my dad that, he shot himself. He killed himself. He had a fiance, and she was carrying their child. He never got to see their child born. And when my dad called me and told me, your cousin just killed himself, I didn't feel anything. But I went to go work out. I went to go hoop, and I felt like nothing was wrong. So sports really taught me that no matter what you feeling, if you're really into playing sports and that's really what you love, to stay with it, because it can really help you and save you in the long run.
It's an outlet, man. Sports is definitely like therapy, yo. Like, when the pandemic first started, man, we couldn't go to the gym and lift weights. We couldn't go to the gym and play basketball, and it was so tough, yo. Like, I really felt like I was losing my mind because this important part of my life, and it's the opportunity to escape. You know what I'm saying? From the world, and escape from anything that's going on outside. And all I have to think about is just being here and enjoying this moment, man. It's interesting that you had that same experience with, like, with financial aid, because that was something that I had to experience in school as well. Like, dude, I went to the financial aid office so much that they knew me by first name. Like when I walked in that joint, hey, what's going on, Jeff? And I'm like, hey, what's going on, Miss Karen? How you doing? You good? So what that money do though? Yeah, I still owe you a couple thou. I know I'm gonna get it to you at some point. But yo, it was so crazy that they knew my daughter by first name. Like when I had her my senior year, man, I stayed in the financial aid office, man. And I like that you said you had someone that reached out to you that told you that they want to help you, because I had that same experience. I met this dude, Chuck Bailey. Let's say on like a Monday night, I was at the school playing basketball. I'm still out of school and stuff like that. I remember I had to save $5,500, and I was like $400 short. And I was playing basketball with him. Some of the ADs, athletic, the dorm directors. I can't remember what their names, what you call RDs, residential directors. Yeah. Some of the RDs, we were playing basketball and stuff like that. And they talked to him after I had left. They talked to him about my story. And, I was like, man, I really want to get back. I really want to come back in school. I had to take a semester off. I was like, I really want to come back to school, man. And I was talking to them and everybody. I was calling everybody for this $400. It was like $396 and some change. And they were like, call Chuck Bailey. And I'm like, man, why would I call Chuck Bailey? Chuck Bailey don't know me. I just met him last night. He was like, nah, Jeff, call Chuck, because he's a person that loves to invest in people like you. And Chuck Bailey was the owner of Bailey Insurance Company in Waynesburg. Now, if you know anything about the insurance business, these people make a lot of money. Yeah. So I called him and I said, look, Chuck, here's my situation. I'm $396 short. If I could, I would love your support and stuff like that. And he did, without hesitation, he said, okay, who do I write the check out to? I said, what? He said, yeah, who do I write the check out to? I said, I'm going to call you back. I got off the phone. I hung up the phone, man. I cried. And I called my mom, and I said, Mom, I'm going back to school. She said, what you mean? I said, Mom, I got the money. I'm going back to school. And then I called him. I called Waynesburg, and I was like, who do I write the check out to, man? I ran to my coach. I was like, Coach, I'm coming back. I was like, I'm coming back. I'm ready to play. The next day we had a game too, and I suited up for the game. The next day, man, I came off the bench until I got my starting spot the next game after that. You knew this wasn't gonna last too long. You know this was my spot. And so, man, it's so crazy, man. Because the school did a nice little write up and stuff like that on me. It's so crazy in the era of where we see a lot of these players getting paid, the D1 players getting paid and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? There's a lot of players in Division II and Division III schools that are like myself, working 3 jobs, 2-sport athlete, and a full-time student. You know what I mean? That grind and that hustle, man, it literally, like, I mean, it's something that's unprecedented, and a lot of people don't understand what we had to go through as athletes just to be athletes. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, we didn't have the luxury of, I just seen the LSU, the new LSU football stadium, the football locker room.
That's crazy.
Every chair is like this, and they have an iPad right here. Dude, we didn't have none of that, man. Yeah. We didn't have none of that. Like, in one of my poems, man, I wrote, I remember cooking food for the basketball team that I was about to play. Like, I would go to Bob Evans at 5:30 in the morning, work an 8-hour shift until like 1:30, and that's what the girls would play at 1:30. We would play at 3:30. So the boys would come to Bob Evans, and they would eat around like 12:30. You know what I'm saying? Right. I would literally cook their food. You know what I'm saying? And they'd be like, hey, ain't that Jeff Young? I'm like, what up, Jeff? I'm like, hey, what's going on, y'all? They're like, you playing tonight? I'm like, yeah, no, I'm playing. Don't worry, I'll be there. I'm gonna drop my little 15, have my little 11 rebounds. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do my thing afterwards. But like, I wrote in a poem, who work an 8-hour shift before game day, then walk home 3 miles before work and weather as cold as winter in Green Bay. You know what I'm saying? Like, I literally worked an 8 hour. I walked to work 3 miles. I worked an 8-hour shift. I walked 3 miles back home. And then I played a college basketball game for 2.5 hours. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That was life, yo. It's those stories and those journeys, man, that as a coach, you try to get those younger players to understand. You know what I'm saying? what's some of the things that, obviously, being a student first, what are some of the other things that you would want to tell your younger players, because you have them right now at a pivotal moment in their lives,
Right.
like that 9th, 10th grade year. You know what I'm saying? What are some of the things that you try to teach and instill in them, growing and becoming athletes, becoming young men?
One of the biggest things is life is going to get hard.
Yeah.
So you have to find a way to understand that life isn't going to be how it looks right now.
Yeah.
But then also be able to pivot out of it and know that, it's going to be okay
Right.
at the end of the day. Because, 9th or 10th grade, high school, parents are kind of there. They're there 24/7, gas, money for go out movies, everything, they have their parents there. So just let them know, if college is the route that you want to take, just know that don't take this, don't take what's going on right now and know that it's going to get different. It's going to be different. You can't expect your parents to be there in college when you 5-6 hours away to come make your bed, to come feed you, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So just, it's a lot of small lessons that I try to teach them. Even with just after we're done, practicing or something. Make sure y'all put all y'all jerseys inside your locker. Little things, before game day, make sure you eat something. Make sure that you're able to feed your body, so when you're on the court, you're able to think.
Yeah.
So we have study tables, so don't wait till the last minute to get your work done. You have practice at a certain time. Get your work done before, so after practice, because you're going to run a lot, because they did run a lot. But after practice, make sure you go home and all your stuff is done, so you can relax, and enjoy your time. Don't wait till the last minute doing something that you can do right now.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely with you. So you're a coach. Do you think that you adopted some of the things that your coaches used to do? Like, do you look back at yourself right now and be like, my coach used to be the same way. Like my high school coach and my college coach used to be the same way. I'm just like my coach.
Yeah. So high school, our head coach, Coach Gross, he had passion for the game. So everyone knew he had a tie, he had a suit on. The whole coach staff wore suits. We knew as soon as he took that jacket off and undid that tie, it was going to be over. So he used to grab us by our jersey, throw us in the game. Now we can't do that,
Yeah,
how
you can't do
everything
that
transpired.
right now.
But there was a
Get arrested real quick.
there was actually a clip of a coach throwing a chair on the floor during the game. He's pissed off about something. So I had posted it and said, one of my friends said this looked like Coach Lou, but I'm not that to extreme. And I had one of my players see me and say, yeah, right, Coach, we already know that's you. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's more so that I'm so passionate about the game,
Right.
and watching them succeed and what they're doing, and them being happy about that brings a lot of joy to myself.
No, ain't that funny that now when we're on the other side and we see now all of the things that our coach used to yell at us about,
Yeah.
like when you run in suicide, like, I used to, man, I remember, running suicides like at Waynesburg. Like I never knew a suicide starting in front of the line. Like they was like, all right, get on the line and run the suicide, and the line is here, and they starting with their back foot on the line and their other foot in front of it.
Right.
Where they do that at?
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
What is happening? Don't
Nope.
nobody do that. No, behind the line. And if your
Right.
toes are on the line, you got to run it again. And then
Yep.
if you don't touch the line, man, those little things, those little disciplines, man, a lot of people take for granted the little things. And I have a saying, and it says you can't paint a big picture without a small paintbrush, because you'll miss all of the little details that make it actual artwork. You know what I'm saying? It's the little things that add up, man. Right. And that's even in a relationship. You think about what your girl or, your partner, your significant other, whatever it might be, it's the little things that she cares about that adds up to the big things. You know what I'm saying? You can do all of the big things, but if you're not doing the little things, the chivalry type stuff, man, you're missing a connection there that needs to be there, yo.
Right.
I remember, did you ever have an experience, before I tell you mine, did you ever have an experience with a teammate who did not take things as serious as you would have wanted them to? Like they weren't as passionate about the game as you are, and it kind of made you mad, frustrated?
Yeah, me being an upperclassman, and like I said, always having different freshmen or transfers coming in, they took it as a joke, because they were from the area. They knew that they was getting the Pittsburgh Promise, so they was getting money and go out and blow it. Just so like we had a couple practices that players just like were half-ass stuff, and like I said, I'm very passionate about it, and I'm there. Basketball is what saved me. So I'm, kirking like, yo, like there was an instant that I got into it with a player, because they were talking while the coach was talking, and that's stuff that now as a coach, my players know if I hear any of them talking, we not touching the ball, But as a player, I'm like, listen, man, have some respect. Even I still go back to this day. It's like in October, I'll go back up to my college and just talk to the players, the new players. Just let them know, what y'all have right now is way better than what I had when I was here.
Right.
But don't take this, what you have, and just abuse it.
Yeah, don't take this opportunity for granted,
Yep.
man. Because you like this is it. You got 4 years left. You know what I'm saying? 99% of y'all careers are going to be over after these 4 years, man. And so I'll tell you, and I'm not gonna say his name. I'll tell you off camera who it was. Right. I'll tell you off camera who it was. I can't say it because I think we friends on Facebook, or we friends with somebody on Facebook, and they might see it. I don't want them to see it. But so we're on a bus in Waynesburg, and we just got waxed. I mean, I'm talking about 20-point waxed. You know what I'm saying? And me in high school, when you get waxed on the bus ride home, you shut up. There's no talking. There's no none of that. You shut up and you ride home. And the only thing that you think about is what you could have done to be better in this game. Now, we rode the bus with the girls. And so the girls, they would win a lot. And so the girls are on the bus and we're on the bus, and one of the players is in the back, ha ha ha, key, ha 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 ha. And I'm like, yo, now they're starting to ask, yo, when we going out, what we drinking tonight? Hold on, nah, bro, don't be. I stood up and I flipped. I said, yo, I don't care about the girls team, but I know every man on this bus, the men's team, y'all need to shut the hell up because we lost. We got our asses whooped today, and there's nothing to talk about. The only thing that we should be talking about is how to get better. When I was in college, when I was in high school, we didn't do this, man. Y'all need to take this serious. Like we just got waxed, and the dude was like, I didn't play, so I didn't get waxed. Dog, I said, I said, you will never play. I said, I will make sure that I talk to the coach and tell him that you will never step on the court. And if you on the court, I better not be on the court. You suck. I'm telling you, I went at this dude and I was cussing him out, and the coach wasn't on the bus, but his wife was on the bus. And so, I apologized to her because I was like, I'm sorry. It's just, I was, this was a passionate moment, you know what I'm saying? Because I took this serious and I was hard, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't want to lose, you know what I mean? Show me a good loser and I'll show you a loser. You know what I'm saying? And one of the players texted me, and he was like, look, man, I'm glad that you stood up and said something because I feel the same way. Like, we need to be more serious about what we're doing. And I literally talked to the coach and I told the coach, man, this dude better not ever play. Like, because he obviously isn't taking this serious. And the next day at practice, I said, they was like, Jeff, I was like, I'm guarding him. Nah, nope. You on the scout team? I'm guarding you. Because now I'm going to show you why you on the scout team. Because you suck. Because he's like, I'm a different person when I'm real nice, but I'm a different person when it comes to sports and when it comes to competition and stuff like that, man. I'm a totally different person, man. I remember, I just remember those times, man. Basketball has taught me so much. Football has taught me so much, man. So how are you preparing your athletes, your students, or your players for like what are some of the things or some of the gems that you're giving them for life after? Because as a coach, you don't want to just be their basketball coach. You know what I'm saying? Talk to them, like you said, talk to them. You want to talk to them about little things.
Right.
What are some of the other things that you feel like coaches could do or should do to help their players elevate themselves personally?
I would say check in weekly, like on your players, just about like mental health, seeing what are they doing and aren't they doing around the house. You know, what did they do that this week that they felt like they could be better at.
Right.
Just because it's like me personally, it's hard to, like I said, be vulnerable.
Right.
So I already have the connection with my players because I was their coach, but also it's because I'm gonna go above and beyond and make sure you're good. You know, like
Right.
if I took some of my players out, you know, to go just play 5-on-5 up at in Annapolis, and afterwards say, "Y'all want some food?" You know, not even asking, "I don't need no money." You know, just little things to show them that I care, and it's more than basketball. And I have players that I mentor, and I have one player that say, you know, he look up to me, just because I have, in his eyes, you know, I have it good, you know, and I have, and this is how I, you know, him being young, you know, I have the car, I have the job, you know, certain things that everyone as adult, you know, looks like will have.
Yeah.
But I basically told him, I said, it's more than that, you know,
Right.
it's more, it looks good, but I had to work to get here.
Right.
It wasn't just given to me.
Yeah, you know what? They say powerful people recognize potential in people, and people of potential know power when they see it. You know, you're a person who he's looking at that like you may not be where you want to be, but you're here. You know what I'm saying? And he's here.
Right.
So he's like, okay, this man can help me at least get to this level. And
Right.
as he's continuing to elevate, you know what I'm saying? I will continue to elevate. And I think that, you know, for like it's still weird for me to even hear you say like, yo, this is my brother, but this is also like my mentor. Like he's someone that I look up to, and I'm like, yo, how you looking up to me when I look up to you? You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Kind of
right.
like we're in like that same age bracket. I think I'm probably like only like 2 or 3 years older than you, but I'm still saying like, yo, that to me, that's one of the reasons why I hustle the way that I do, is because I know that it's not about me anymore.
Right.
It's bigger than me. You know what I'm saying? I have a responsibility to the people who look to me for guidance, to the people who, you know, follow what it is that I'm doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think that's huge, man. And I think that those young men that are coming to you, I think that they have a good role model, someone who they shouldn't mind mirroring their life after in you, man. So I want to commend you on that, man, and keep doing a good job. And you know, I definitely want to come out every single year, you know what I'm saying, talk to them, because it's about growth and it's about development. You know what I'm saying? If some of the players may see me 4 years in a row, you know, like this dude came out and sit and talked at 4 years, but look at the elevation and the growth of life over those 4 years. That's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, it was hard to get here. You know what I'm saying? Like they couldn't imagine the stuff that we've been through, you know what I'm saying, to get here. And you're going to go through something, and we are only preparing you for those things that you're about to go through. You know what I'm saying? So shameless plug here. One of the things, man, that I started doing over the last to begin the year was writing down in something that I call a win journal. And they're on backpackjeff.com. Go to backpackjeff.com, grab yourself a win journal. But it's a journal, and it says the same thing that the shirt says. Winners write history, losers become a part of the story. And what I'm doing in this journal is I'm writing my history. You know what I'm saying? And that's what a winner does. Like, I want to write my history. And so what I do is every single week, I take time to write down the wins that I had for the week. And the reason that I do it is because I want to keep the same level of excitement in February that I had in January. Because when the year started, we're super excited about this year. You know what I'm saying? So how do you transfer that fire from month after month after month so that you can have a successful year? Man, you got to remind yourself of the things that you have accomplished so that you can see your wins. You know what I'm saying? And that's what the win journal does. That's what it does for me. And that's what I'm hoping that it's going to do for other people. So I would definitely say, man, get them to have them like, yo, get yourself a win journal. So something that you can write down so that you can see how you win, how you succeed, your successes, your accomplishments.
Right.
Because when things don't go well, when you are a little bit down on yourself, you need to have a reminder of, hey, look, I actually have done some stuff this year. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we're at the point of the podcast, man, where we like to go in our bag, and as you can see, it's Black History Month. So I got the because of them we can Martin, Malcolm, Harriet, Rosa, Marcus, Shirley, Frederick, Coretta, Bayard, Betty, Medgar, and Mamie. So what I like to do, man, go in the bag and grab some of these questions out of here, and so. The first ones that we go through, man, is called Let's Talk More Genuine Conversation. And it basically just kind of forces people to kind of have conversation about some things that, are happening in their lives. And so the first round that we go through is looking at 2020 and some of the things that happened in 2020. So I'm gonna lay down 6 cards here. And I just want you're going to pick one of the cards, and we're just going to answer the question off of one of the cards. So pick a number 1 through 6.
4.
Number 4. All right. The past year in retrospect. With the knowledge you have now, what would you have done differently in 2020?
What would I have done differently?
Yeah.
I would say slow down.
Okay, that's good.
Slow down and take a step back and just be happy that I'm alive.
Okay.
I would say that when you're constantly moving, you never really get a chance to realize all the great things you have done.
Wind journal. You sound like you just, my bad. Listen, I'm sorry. Go ahead. My bad. Yeah, I hear you.
But yeah, because I was working. Then from there, like, it was just a lot that I was on. I was staying moving, so I didn't really have to think.
Right.
And my body ended up telling me, you gotta slow down, or I'm gonna make you slow down. Right. So biggest things for me is just taking a step back and realizing, taking a breath, like, it's gonna be all right. I'm doing good. Let me just keep pushing. So that's one of the biggest things.
All right, definitely. I like that answer, man. Slow down. And you know what? I think sometimes we do need to slow down because we're always running 100 miles per hour, man. And we do have to take some time in retrospect and just look at our lives and look at the things that we've done. And that's my man just plugged the Wind Journal. I ain't even need to. we gonna get that sound bite and we gonna put that in every episode right there. Pick another number 1 through 3 or 5 or 6.
2.
Number 2. All right. What was the most valuable lesson you have learned in 2020?
Valuable lesson I've learned. Family is more than just blood.
Okay, expand on that a little bit. Go deeper.
We normally, try to put hand in hand with family and blood because they are your blood. But for me, I have friends and, people like yourself that I will call family that aren't blood. Mm-hmm. So yes, speaking wise, family is blood,
right?
But I have a lot of friends that I will call my brothers, that I can look up to, that I can talk to, that aren't blood. Mm-hmm. But I would do anything for them, like a family member. So,
and it's definitely important to have that and to have that circle, and to realize that, man, I'm the same way. Like, you're a person that I call brother. I got a couple other people who I feel the same way about, and having that camaraderie is definitely important. Like, we were talking about the Kevin Hart documentary, Don't Fuck This Up, and to see the relationship that he has with his circle, man, right, it's admirable. You know what I'm saying? And it's one of those things where it's like, yo, I want that relationship like that they have with each other, because like there's love there, and everyone is, feeding off of each other's energy. Everyone is successful, you know what I'm saying, in their own rights and what they have going on, man. And that's that like when Wale said life's better when your nigga's good. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yep.
Life is definitely better in that. All right, pick another one. 1, 3, 5, or 6.
We'll go one.
We'll go 1. All right. Who or what has inspired you in 2020? That's a good question.
So I have two.
All right.
Have inspired me. I would say my players.
Okay. Ooh. All right.
I would say they inspire me to be a better coach, to be a better big brother, to be a better mentor. And like we can sit and joke around, and I know at the end of the day, you know, if they ever needed me or they ever got jammed up or anything, they can call me. And the second part, I would say you, honestly. I would say because I have one of my players that follow you on social media after you came, you know, spoke to all, you know, the whole team, and they just say, you know, I like what he's doing. I like what he talks about. The content that he talks about, me and my friends don't talk about.
Yeah.
So to know you and to know that, you know, how powerful your words are, that aren't just touching me, but they're also touching people that are younger than us.
Right.
That are still trying to find their way in life and want better, but their friends and their circle are kind of holding them back.
Right.
So,
And well, first, man, I appreciate that, and tell that young man, like, you know, he can reach out to me anytime, man. That one of the things that I'm doing, man, is I want to make sure that my door is open as much as possible to any and everyone, and I want to make sure that as I continue to grow, that I'm not losing connection with what kind of got me here in the first place, you know, because I wrote at the end of this poem that I have, Father, forgive them. It says, you know, as I continue to succeed, Father, don't let me forget you, because you know the old saying, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? And to me, the thing that makes me are the people that surround me. You know what I'm saying? Are the people that I can inspire, the people that I pour into. Those are the things that fulfill me. And then also, we also need to be poured into. But those are the things that that make me the most happy and the most proud. So I appreciate that, man. All right, so let's look at 2021 and some of the things that you got coming up for this year, man. Pick another number 1 through 6.
I'll go 6.
So 6.
Yeah.
All right, looking ahead to the upcoming year, what will you do for your health in 2021?
I would say do for me more. Whether that's like basketball is my passion, you know, like me and you play on the men's league team. I'm trying to get involved in helping out others more. Whether that's, you know, hey, do you need a ride somewhere, or, you know, let's go meet up and let's talk about your life type of thing.
Yeah.
Kind of be more of a mentor, because I always feel like we can always learn from people younger than us, things
Great.
that we aren't able to see in ourselves.
Yeah.
So definitely being a better mentor, and the other one, I would say more poems, more poetry.
Okay.
Because when I was writing, you know, it was I was on cloud 9. I wasn't thinking about it. You know, I was just stuff was coming quick.
Yeah.
You know, but definitely so poetry and mentorship.
Okay. So here's what I want to do, man. Every we were talking about self-care before the podcast. And I was like, yo, we need to, you know what I'm saying, find some space to go and just do some self-care stuff, man, because, you know, like I said in the poem that I wrote, Inspiring Woman, she told me that attainment of wealth is important, but my mental health is too. And mental health comes from things of self-care that you do for yourself. So every 3 weeks, man, we got to go and do like a manicure, pedicure, and just relax. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's, yes, men go and get manicures and pedicures, and we in 2021, we taking care of ourselves. We want to look good and feel good. All right. Don't judge us. But yeah, yo, I think that, man, that would be a good way just to kind of unwind and, you know, put ourselves at ease and just kind of talk, man, and just be present. You know what I'm saying? Because we spend so much time working and we spend so much time having to be strong for other people, and all of the pressures of success in life and all of that stuff, man.
Right.
To be able to just disconnect, and even though we play basketball and stuff like that, but to be able to disconnect, and just relax and just get massaged, and have somebody else give you a nice little massage and stuff like that, man. We definitely got to do that. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna make that happen. Pick another number 1 through 5.
Go 5.
Let's go 5. What will you be on? What will be on the pictures you take in the coming year? This is a good question. What will be on the pictures you take in the coming year?
What will be on the pictures I take? Different sceneries as far as traveling.
Okay.
So the water, something peaceful. Trees.
You been to Great Falls before?
No, I haven't.
Oh, bro, we gotta go to Great Falls, man.
Yeah, no, I haven't been.
You ain't been to Great Falls,
Nah.
man. If you ain't been to Great Falls, bro, you missing out, man. You meditate?
Nope.
Man, we gotta get you a whole bunch of self-care. Listen, man, we gonna go get you manicures, pedicures. We gonna take you out hiking, bro. Hiking is one of the best experiences ever in terms of releasing, yo. I go out to Great Falls, man, sit on the rock and just meditate. Like, gotta go early in the morning though, like 6, something like that, so that you can see the sunrise if that's possible. But then also be away from all the people because that joint gets super crowded. So we gotta go to Great Falls this year, man. And I just go out there and just peace. It's so peaceful just to hear the water, and just to be, just to get out of your own head, yo. I'm telling you, just sit there for like 5 or 10 minutes, man, and just do nothing and just be still and just let life happen. You'd be surprised what you can hear when you meditate, yo. Like, you can hear everything, man, and you just kind of become one with nature. So, all right, I like that. So we're going to get you out the Great Falls. We're going to get you into some meditation out there. We're going to do the self-care manicures and pedicures. We got you, man.
We got a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff on the books, man. 1 through 4.
2.
Number 2. What will you do or not do to achieve your goals and dreams in 2021?
I would learn to be comfortable with the uncomfortable.
Okay, what does that mean?
So learn to step out of my circle of what I think success is. So
Okay.
stepping out on a limb to do things I normally wouldn't do. Meeting, so I'm very chill, low key person, but like start talking and engaging in conversation more with people I don't know.
You know what, man? In the book that I'm reading right now, How to Win Friends and Influence People, man, I think that you would take a lot from that book, yo. They talk about smiling, greeting people, you know what I'm saying? How to feel a lot more warm, like how to walk into a space and feel more warm, you know what I'm saying? And right now you can't walk into a space and smile because nobody would know because you got your mask on and stuff like that.
Right.
But just your sheer presence, man. He talked about like, having a conversation even with like the grocery store clerk, and just saying something that you admire about them. Like his experience was, I think he said to the guy, he was like, hey, I like your hair, and it made that person smile. It made that person feel good. So when we make other people feel good and we put them in a position of feeling good, man, it in turn makes us feel good because you're a giver. You know what I'm saying? Right. So putting that energy out in the world, man, is something that that I think will definitely be beneficial for you. All right, so the next little thing that I got, man, I don't do this one too often, but it's the little questions about relationships and stuff like that, man, that I feel some women who are going to listen to this podcast are going to want to know from a man's perspective. And I got I got some questions for you, man. And you can say pass. Okay. We're gonna do it like Family Feud.
All right, cool.
Man, let me. I'm trying to find something good. All right, here we go. Do you believe in living together before marriage? Why or why not?
I do. I believe in living together because when you're around somebody 24/7, you kind of pick up on things that you wouldn't have picked up on if you weren't. Living together, like for example, you can tell somebody trifling or not. You know what I'm saying?
Trifling.
Like,
When was the last time y'all heard the word trifling? Hey, he said another word earlier too. He said Kirk. He said I was Kirk, and I was like, I don't even know if everybody who's gonna listen to this know what that means. That means angrily expressing yourself in a vulgar manner. That's what Kirking means.
Yeah.
All right, trifling. So you can know if somebody's trifling.
Yeah, I mean, then also kind of learn different things about somebody that you probably wouldn't have known. Knowing what's probably, I don't know, somebody being in your personal space 24/7.
Yeah, like if they keep the bathroom clean, you know, if they, you know, how they, you know, when do they do the dishes every night before they go to bed, or do they let them joints sit in the sink?
Yeah,
because one of them's trifling and one of them's not. Yo, if somebody calls you trifling, yo, that's that mom insult that's like super worse. She trifling. She trifling. Nah, don't be trifling, man. All right, so if your significant other presented you with a prenup before your wedding, would you sign it? Why or why not?
I would not sign it. And I would not sign it because if she wanted a prenup, I feel like it's something we should have talked about before.
Come on now.
So if you spring that on me right there, then I'm gonna let you know that we ain't doing it. You know, it's gonna be that simple. But it's stuff like that I feel like should be talked about way before, so you can even see if that's something you guys are both on the same page, or if it's worth getting married over or not. So.
All right, so let me ask you this: is a marriage a business relationship, or is marriage just marriage? Like, how do you like? Do you look at marriage as like a business?
So, I'm gonna have to think about what I'm gonna say first.
Don't say the wrong thing, boy. They will cancel you in a heartbeat.
I think how society makes everything seem now is more of a business.
Okay.
How society makes it. Me personally, I feel like marriage, yes, is a stepping stone in your relationship. But I feel if you are committed to each other before marriage, only thing marriage is doing is basically the ring, you know, of course.
Yeah.
But you're signing papers now.
Mm-hmm.
That if you're together, you already is acting as if you are married. It's just you don't have a ring.
Yeah. It's not legally
correct.
binding now.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the only thing I'm gonna say on that.
All right, man. Look, man, I appreciate you coming and joining us on the couch, man. Coming, being in your bag, man. Definitely, I would say, man, we got to make sure that we are engaging in self-care, man. It is important to our mental health, man. I definitely hope that you and the fam, y'all get an opportunity to engage in Thoughtful Thursdays, man. I think that will be something that will be very beneficial for y'all in terms of, just being able to be open, being able to express, man. Know that I'm always here for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to make sure that I do better with reaching out to you, making sure that we are having more in-depth conversations. Every 3 weeks, we are going to make sure that we're doing our self-care. We're going to make sure that we're doing all of the things that we need to, man. For all my good people out there, man, if y'all like this hoodie, right? Y'all see this hoodie right here, work hard, play hard. Nah, not play. Work harder, man. We are in grind season. And it's a message that I believe that people who are really on a mission to accomplish their goals, on a mission to accomplish their dreams, is definitely going to understand. If y'all want to get one of these hoodies, go to backpackjeff.com/shop, or just go to backpackjeff.com. You'll see the shop button there, man. Make sure you grab one of these hoodies. The hoodies are only $30. The t-shirts, I have these in t-shirt form as well. The t-shirts are $20. We talked about the wind journals earlier. You can go and grab yourself a wind journal. The wind journals are only $15. Everything will be shipped out. You can also grab one of the winners t-shirts. Winners write history. Losers become a part of the story. You are a winner. Write your history. Write it in your wind journal. Grab a shirt, man. Show yourself off. Is there anything else that you want to say to the people before we take it out?
Nope.
No, that's
Not at
it.
all, yes.
All right, look, man, this is another episode of In My Bag with Backpack Jeff. Today we were in our bag with Coach Lou. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all. Until next time.